With the big telephone company, for caller ID, call blocking, call forwarding, call waiting, and three-way calling, you can end up paying almost $50 a month for all that. But with Rev Voice, you get all those features for free.
Layoffs possible at the former Bahamas Electricity Corporation. The opposition leader admits Senator Lanisha Roll's comments were wrong, plus a new initiative focused on fighting hunger. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, staff reductions at Bahamas Power and Light, the new incarnation of BEC, are possible, according to an executive of the company now tasked with managing the state-owned power company. The comment came during a management signing agreement between Power Secure and BPL this morning at the office of the Prime Minister, where the new management team addressed the mountain of issues facing the company and how they plan on fixing it. There are also several big changes at the company, including the reassignment of BEC's general manager. Kyle Joaquin has the details in this report.
Well, the sign on the door still says BEC, but you can get used to calling this place Bahamas Power and Light, or BPL, now that a management agreement has been signed. Officials got that signing underway this morning at the office of the Prime Minister, where for the first time we heard from Power Secure and their plans for the next 5 years. For years, blackouts have more so become one with the summer months in the Bahamas, and most recently throughout the entire year. But with today's signing of a 5-year management services agreement, it is hoped that island-wide blackouts would be a thing of the past. Power Secure's president of utility infrastructure, Ronnie Brannon, laid out the many issues Power Secure found during their assessment.
Those challenges are aging infrastructure, higher operating cost. We have some expensive and inefficient fuel. We have organizational inefficiencies we need to deal with, some geographical challenges that are very unique that we need to understand and work on, and then legacy debt.
Power Secure will be entitled to a base management fee of $2 million per year. Their business plan is said to be anchored around several key initiatives to address those challenges. They include fundamentally reducing fuel costs, which represent some 2/3 of the cost of electricity, increasing efficiency of the existing assets, adding temporary generation, adding technology, refinancing legacy debt, and improving operational efficiency and safety of BPL employees. Well, there was also the big elephant in the room, the question as to whether or not there would be layoffs at BPL. Well, a Power Secure official also addressed that concern.
Well, what we're doing there is remaining extremely open-minded. So at this part of the business plan, what we look at is there potentially could be a reduction in force, but if there is, and I say that strongly, if there is, we'd look at a voluntary type program where people who've worked here and have long tenures would be offered an opportunity to volunteer if that is the case.
Just last week, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis told parliamentarians that the government doesn't expect there to be layoffs. Brannon said what Power Secure really wants to do, though, is build a strong relationship with the employees and especially the unions.
We must get to know the staff better. We must meet the unions and understand their needs. And they must understand that we are here to work with them and support them. They know what they're doing. We just need to understand how to partner with them and make them feel really good about the accomplishments they've made, as General Manager Baisden has stated, and we need to improve upon that relationship. So,
Power Secure's 5-year business plan is in phases. What must also be noted is that with this transition, Kevin Baisden is no longer the general manager at BEC, but has now assumed his new role as the consultant/advisor to the board of directors. A Deepak Bhatnagar will now serve as executive director and will oversee the activities of BPL. But flanked by his cabinet ministers, Prime Minister Perry Christie said he, for one, is hopeful that Power Secure would indeed be able to live up to its promise and be able to drive the cost of electricity down, as it was one of his government's promises upon taking office.
This moment ushers in a new way of doing business, and I'm happy that it has happened during my administration, particularly because of the promises we made when we came to office. It is for me to observe that whether here in New Providence or in Grand Bahama, one of the most intimidating obstacles in the face of business development was the cost and high cost.
To support our initiatives around cost reduction and improved reliability, the refinancing of the BEC's legacy debt with a rate reduction bond is fundamental to reversing the current financial difficulties of BEC.
BPL's new board of directors was present for today's signing. PowerSecure is a public company headquartered in Wake Forest, North Carolina, with a compound annual growth rate of 25%. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Leader of the Free National Movement, Dr. Hubert Minnis, today admitted that F&M Senator Lanisha Roll was wrong for her scathing attacks on Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner last month and her comments that other party members are jealous of him. The opposition leader asserted that Roll made a huge mistake and the party is now dealing with it internally. Simone Davis reports.
After weeks of public commentary over whether or not F&M Senator Lanisha Roll was wrong to lambaste fellow F&M colleagues, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis today said he just thinks Roll made a mistake that she was entitled to because everyone makes mistakes.
I think Senator Roll has already apologized to the parliamentary group. This is an internal thing, and the council had said it's an internal thing and should be dealt with internally. And I don't think there is one young person out there who has never made a mistake. But should we crucify all for that?
Senator Roll was at the heart of controversy last month after stating that the country would not support Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner for prime minister, as she accused the former deputy leader and other members of being jealous of Minnis. She said the country is tired of dictatorial styles of leadership. Senator Roll was at the heart of controversy last month after stating that the country would not support Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner for prime minister, as she accused the former deputy leader and other members of being jealous of Minnis. She said the country is tired of dictatorial styles of leadership and
so Senator Roll made a mistake.
That's a matter that's being dealt with within the party.
I ask you, sir, did Senator Roll make a mistake?
She admitted that to the council, to the parliamentary group. So it's a matter.
Yeah, but I'm asking you.
Darl, I said that.
Okay.
I've said that.
After her comments, Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant later demanded a public apology from Roll. After that, more F&M MPs, including Butler Turner, St. Anne's MP Hubert Chipman, Montague MP Richard Lightbourne, and North Eleuthera MP Theo Neely, issued a joint statement calling on Roll to apologize. Grant later acknowledged that the senator apologized privately, but said as the attacks were made in public, she should make a public apology. While he did not say whether or not Roll would be made to apologize publicly, Minnis said since she admitted to the F&M parliamentary group that she was wrong, he doesn't think Senator Roll should be recalled, adding that it's a matter that would be dealt with internally.
She admitted that was dealt at the parliamentary group. The council is being dealt at the council, and it's an internal problem, and it's not a matter I'm prepared to discuss anymore. It's an internal problem. It's an F&M matter, and we deal with issues internally.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, although Senator Lanisha Roll's comments may have been a mistake, her core message is something former F&M Cabinet Minister Tennyson Wells said he can agree with. Wells offered his opinion on Roll's controversial comments today while voicing his support of Minnis as leader of the F&M.
If you look at the content of what Lanisha said, I don't even know her. If I see her on the street walk up and I can tell you who she is, right? I see her on the TV, I think, once a time in the paper. But if you look at the content of what she said, you can't argue that. Now, how she went about it, I think it may have been a mistake. I think it was a mistake in the sense, right? But the content of what she said about, and the only other thing I would say was the word jealous, because that's a subjective type thing. But the way they have been dealing with minutes and arguing and carrying on, doesn't make sense.
Roll's remarks sparked a firestorm of controversy, and only drew attention to the divisions within the official opposition. Since taking the helm, Minnis's leadership style has come under scrutiny by those within his own party, and last September there was a reported coup by some F&M MPs to oust him as leader. Wells told our news team those F&Ms who do not have confidence in their leader need to put aside their egos, as
Minnis was validly elected unless they have some reason that the convention was rigged or it was a fraudulent exercise. Then democracy dictates that everybody, whether they won or lose, should support the leader for the term. And the term in the F&M Constitution, as I recall, was 2 years. You have to have a convention at least once every 2 years. Well, within a couple of weeks after the convention, they were talking about if Minnis don't do this and he don't do that, they got to look at it again. Well, you try to kill the poor fella even before he got started.
Wells said after doing a lot of due diligence, he believes Minnis is the right person to lead the F&M into the next general election. Wells said he looked at Minnis's lifestyle as well as his career, and perhaps the country needs a businessman at its helm.
This is the first time that this country would have a successful businessman at the top. In the case of Sir Lyndon, Mr. Ingram and Mr. Christie, you could say that they were successful politicians, but they were not successful businessmen. They have lived off the public purse all their life. That's the whole thing. And I think we need to move away. I think the country just needs something different. I think we need to move away from it now. And the public would be wise to give, I think, Minnis an opportunity to demonstrate his skills. Now, he may not be charismatic and all of that sort of thing, but that's the problem we have. We follow these people who talk, and then at the end of the day, nothing. No action.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when MB12 returns.